We're told about all the wonderful things FDR did. You know, he got us out of the New Deal, out of the Great Depression. No, wait a minute. Can we ask this question? Why is the Depression called the Depression every other country except for America? In America, it's called the Great Depression because of the policies of FDR. Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. Tonight, something very exciting. I'm going to take you back to 1930 and the Smoot-Hawley Act. At the time in 1930, it seemed insignificant. It was just to protect trade. I mean, who could possibly be against that? It raised tariffs on imported goods to record levels. The problem? It caused the rest of the world to retaliate and put tariffs on all of their stuff shipping over here. Trading suffered and everything kind of spun out of control. Then the economy suffered. Unemployment went through from 7.8 when the Smoot-Hawley tariff passed to 16.3. I want to show you a chart. This is the Great Depression. This is the beginning of it. Here's the crash of 1929 coming here, and here's Smoot-Hawley. And you'll notice that after this passed, what happened? The market just started steadily, gradually going down. Severe decline in the market that lasted more than a year. Now, we're talking about doing the same thing again. The House just passed a bill that would increase tariffs on China. What would you possibly be doing? By the way, they've retaliated by now putting tariffs on chicken. Oh, if we could just learn from the past. Now I want to show you something that I found in the Wall Street Journal today, and I've talked to you before about, we're repeating all of the same mistakes of the 1930s. This is fast forwarding now to 1936, and here it is, May of 1937. All right? Things started to come up, I guess, a bit, the Dow Jones. But what happened from here? Where this ends is about where FDR was trying to pack all the courts, and it passed. He was upset that his New Deal centerpieces like the Agricultural Adjustment Act, where he was actually burning crops, destroying crops, and killing thousands of pigs, because he said, hey, if there's a shortage, then the prices will go up. Yeah. Also the NRA, you remember Watch for the Blue Eagle, the price control agency. It was shot down by the courts. The court system said it's unconstitutional. So his solution was not to do things differently. He just decided, I'm going to change the court. He wanted to stack the courts in his favor. FDR's court packing plan was shot down, thank goodness, by 70-20 vote. Even Democrats were jumping ship from him at this point. Businesses were left in limbo. They didn't know what was going on. Now the whole government was starting to be in chaos, and everything was being thrown at them. They didn't know what would come next. The Wall Street Journal describes this climate at this time as massive hikes in personal and corporate tax rates, severe monetary tightening, and aggressive business bashing. They were also being regulated up to their eyeballs at this time. So what did businesses do? They just sat on their money. They sat tight. They held on because they just wanted this nightmare to end. Well, what happened? Let's go back to that chart. What happened? This all starts to happen. The courts pass and say, no, it's all unconstitutional. And he starts to pack the court or go that direction, spooks businesses, and what happens? Here it is. Look at that drop. The uncertainty, the hostile business climate, it all led to a depression within a depression. That's why in this country it's known as the Great Depression, but it's not known that way anywhere else. Does that not sound exactly the same today? Hikes in tax rates, monetary tightening, aggressive business bashing, uncertainty. I mean, how much is health care going to cost businesses? How much are small businesses going to be taxed next year? How much will new regulation will they be subject to? What is Cass Sunstein doing on the weekends? Nobody's going to invest their money until they know the answers to these questions, and that's what's happening in America right now. Now, I've told you before, we are repeating the mistakes of the 1930s, okay? Here's the 1930 crash. Could you overlay, please, our course? This is the exact course that we've been on now. Look at this. I've told you that we are repeating history. Will the expiration of the Bush tax cuts be the final straw? Wait, may I? May I just start calling it what it really is? It's not the Bush tax cut. We are talking about what could shove us off the cliff along with all the other uncertainty. We are talking about not Bush tax cuts. That was 10 years ago. We're now talking about one of the largest tax hikes in American history, the Obama tax hike. Now, revisionist progressives will say the depression within the depression happened because FDR just didn't spend enough. His best friend, one of the guys who actually helped design the New Deal, he was the head of the Treasury, he testified in front of Congress. That was insanity. I have been telling you that the seasons are about to change. You have to wake your friends up, tell them about the mistakes of our past before we repeat them. Hello, America. I'm glad you're here. I want you to know, first of all, everything that I say on this program, please do not take my word for it. Please look it up yourself. Look up all of this stuff, but please try to go to the original sources. The progressives have controlled the history books for so long. Read their own words. Read their own diaries. There's plenty of books that the people in the Wilson or the Roosevelt administration wrote themselves. They'll tell you. They'll tell you exactly what happened. I've said to you, must be hundreds of times now, I hope all of this stuff is wrong. I do. If I'm right, you know, things aren't good for me either. I have nothing to gain here. And really, quite honestly, I think I have more to lose, because if I'm wrong, I'll be so wildly discredited, nobody will listen to me. We'll just have to see what happens on the other side. I have nothing to gain, and I have everything to lose. I can't say I have everything, I have nothing to gain. I do. I have a country to pass on to my children, if I'm right. My batting average is pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. When I say things, trouble is coming, it's not just me. It's the Wall Street Journal. I just showed you the chart that shows, you know, how the Dow is mirroring the 1930s. I mean, I could quote to you chapter and verse how we're doing exactly the same thing that Wilson did that led to nightmares, and also FDR, which made it the Great Depression here.